Hey guys, it's Drina G here, and welcome back to Escape with Drina. On this episode of Rise and Heal, we're going to talk about I confuse sex with connection, hypersexuality. Now, I've spoke on hypersexuality before, but when I spoke on hypersexuality, it was at a moment of realization. I was actually aware, and I finally was starting to get the understanding of what is going on with my body. Has it stopped? No, I have learned how to regulate it way better, but I'm gonna explain to you why. So I noticed on my last video, even after months of me going through my own things, I've noticed at posting, I've done great views on my recent posts. Truth is, I reached my breaking point. I've noticed that people love vulnerability. And the thing about vulnerability is they can relate. I don't want when you come to this channel or this podcast, you think this is fake or I'm a hypocrite. I want you to know that this is authentic and I'm healing with you. You're not alone. When I started my healing journey, I started 2 years ago, but I'm 27 years old. This is a long journey that has no destinations. I have to reparent myself, and as I reparent myself and I go to school to learn more and get the education behind reparenting myself and healing in the process, I'm happy that I'm here to project this energy onto you guys. I'm happy that we're here to do it together. And I'm happy that people are actually viewing it. So please keep sharing. Now today I wanted to talk about hypersexuality. Sometimes it could get misinterpreted, but I'm here to explain what it really is because not a lot of people talk about it enough. This is a healing space where we become the victor of hypersexuality and no longer a victim. In this segment, we will be tackling what hypersexuality is, how it affected me, and how we can start changing it together. Now let's dive in with what hypersexuality is. Hypersexuality isn't about being a nympho, a real freak, or just having a high sex drive. Hypersexuality is a trauma response to where the nervous system confuses sexuality as a dopamine for connection, for regulation, for control, and for bonding with trauma. It becomes as a way to cope so that emotions can feel valued. Sometimes hypersexuality can even turn into sexual assault if you do not regulate it. For many, hypersexuality was developed when boundaries were crossed very early. Now let's talk about in those early stages of life. At some point, you were neglected. Now, negligence has many forms. At some point, your caretaker or your caregiver was not able to be there for any reason, and it created inconsistency, lack of affection, the lack of not getting your voice heard, the lack of attention, and sometimes sexual assault or sexual abuse from people that you were supposed to trust that led to disappointment. Your body ended up becoming a survival tool instead of a choice. You were not given the choice to even know what consent was because it was taken away from you so early. So instead of sex being a choice, it becomes a reflex. Instead of intimacy being built, it becomes accelerated. And I want you to know you're not weak or vulnerable. It's just that you learned something so early that was unavoidable at the moment you were supposed to be able to make a choice. And since that was taken away from you, your nervous system confuses it with validation and power. Now we're at a stage where our soul is telling us, I want to be met before I'm touched. I want to talk about what it felt like for me. As a child, I was neglected. I already had many problems with seeking validation from others, which I've been trying so hard to tackle. But little do I know, hypersexuality was hand in hand with validation. When I was younger, I want to keep it clean and short because I don't want to kind of like trauma dump. But when I was younger, I was in a space where my needs weren't met. And at the time when I wanted my needs met the most, it was in uncomfortable positions. I've been through sexual assault, sexual abuse, and no one has ever hugged that part of me yet. No one has ever even talked to me about it except therapy, and no one has ever asked me if I was okay. 1 out of 5 women have been sexually abused or sexually assaulted through people who even probably share their last names. And this is not something that I'm making up, this is statistics. Imagine someone who's supposed to be your space, your protector, your comfort, taking advantage of you because they know that you can't say no. They know that they have complete control and you have to accept it. Now, here's the thing with that. My mind wasn't able to regulate what was going on when the time it happened, so it confused it. So I started to convince myself moving forward, I knew exactly what my partners want, even if they didn't tell me they wanted it. Immediately when I got into relationships, I led with sex first because I knew that if I would get that out of the way, it would lead to still commitment. But it has not worked, not once. And not only that, it opened my mind multiple times because sometimes even after having sex with these people, my eyes will open, almost like post-nut clarity, And you would tell yourself that you needed that, you needed that. And this person is your person, and the high feels so good, the dopamine feels great, and you're in that midst of it all, and you're like, this is what I need. And then when you're done, we're back to reality. And the reality is, this person doesn't connect with your soul at all. This person probably doesn't even think like you. This person doesn't even work out like you or has the same mantle as you. This person could never be your person. But then since that doesn't work, instead you go skipping and you search for the next high. And I'm going to explain to you why, but let me tell you how it affected me as well. Not only me being sexually assaulted at such a young, early age, it became a survival tool for me with my body, since I programmed my body, my nervous system programmed my body to thinking that in order for me to avoid emotions, and that's mean getting attached to relationships, because I didn't want people to leave me first due to negligence. I didn't want to be abandoned. So instead of people leaving me first, I left them before. If the sex wasn't good, even if it was great, I stopped messing with them because I gave them a little piece of me. And I thought to myself that I valued myself because they had a little bit of something and now they have to chase. But in reality, the chase should have started when they had to chase my soul first, my connection first. But I didn't know how to tell myself that. Because I wasn't in that room that filled me. I was in that room that poured into me. So I had to pour into myself. But that's later years. As I get older and older, I'm like, I know what the problem is. I know what I'm missing. And it took me 27 years to find it. But then I was starting to use growing. I was starting to lead with my body. So I use my body for sexual currency. I use my body for survival tools. I use my body for emotions, to feel valued in my emotional being. I use my body to be seen. And in working in an environment that I worked in didn't make it any better, because as more and more money came in and more times came in, sex became what sold. Sex became everything for me. And I convinced myself this was okay. And then you surround yourself with those type of friends where it's like currency, currency, currency. And it feels great. It feels great because this feels like what your body is missing. But your body is trying to tell you that your soul needs to be nourished. And that craving, that itch, that high that you're getting is your soul asking for clarity, asking for your peace, asking for protection. But I was so broken inside that I thought protection was good enough, even if it was for 10 minutes with someone I didn't even know. I was so broken inside that I wanted to feel something, that I convinced myself that all I had to offer was sex. And I knew I was beautiful. But I knew that since day one, after being neglected, after being touched, I told myself that, I'm sorry guys, I told myself that I was okay with how everything was going, that me using sex to block any emotional feeling was okay. Sometimes when guys thought I was so beautiful, they wanted to take me on dates. I was so scared to be abandoned that I would tell them like, hey, if you don't have any currency for me, if you don't take me shopping, if you don't, any of those things, that I convinced myself that was reality. Until I realized it wasn't working anymore. And I mean, I can forever get fortunes. I can forever get these things. But the thing was that I wanted the most was to find peace within self. Hyper-sexuality was just my trauma response. And I thought that I figured it out. Even at 27 years, I'm here to tell you that it's not nothing you could be celibate for. It's nothing you could be abstinent for. This is something you need to get help for. And we're gonna do it together. I had to help myself out of that dark storm and figure out what it is that my body actually needed, that my soul actually needed. Because if not, when I'm bored, just like it doesn't even have to be with sex. What happens when your body is craving attention, craving protection, craving safety, it looks to other things as a source of dopamine for a high. Sometimes it can look like drugs. Hypersexuality is considered a drug. Sometimes it may be looked as overeating or undereating. There are so many ways that your body finds a way to connect with your soul to let you know that I need to be nourished. I need this. And I want to let you know that this isn't your fault. This isn't our fault. Sex was wired into our bodies before we can make a choice. Let me say that again. Sex was wired into your body, into your mind before you could make a choice. Before you even knew consent was a thing, it was taken away from you. So I convinced myself that when I sleep with men, sleep with women, or whatever, when I sleep with someone and I turn around and then I take it away from them, that I gain my power, because now they're like, oh, I need Drina, I need Drina, I need Drina. But the only thing that it was damaging was myself, because I was on to the next high. I didn't really have no connection with the person I laid on the bed. And sometimes I would wake up and leave like really quick. And I would be ready to just move on. And granted, I would have a celibacy moment after that. I would spend months. But when that moment comes again, I didn't know how to control it. I went to do the same thing over and over and over again. I convinced myself this is how I'm valued. And this is how I stay safe. And what made it worse is when I started doing these things for sexual currency, it became, this is how I survive. So now, instead of sex being a choice, instead of sex being a form of intimacy, it was now a priority for funds. It was now a priority for emotional safety. It was now a priority for protection. It was now a priority to feel something because I was so numb inside. I was using sexual behavior, sexual pleasures like a drug to silence that alarm that went off. And the problem with that is that I was escaping from what my body really needed. And here's the thing about that dopamine feel that nobody talks about with hypersexuality. Your body convinced yourself that you need this thing in order to keep that high, right? And then the worst thing about it, that bonding system that your body has shuts down. So that's what makes you keep chasing that high. So every time when I was on to the next, whether it was months later, and I convinced myself, well, I took a break now, I'm good, next, this was still my body chasing the high that I felt like I lost. But in reality, I never had. The high was supposed to be nourished from other parts of my soul, replenished from other parts of my body. But I looked for it within others. And it's not only with sex, when it comes to codependency traits, I looked for it within others when it came to being like taking care of people, where I wanted everybody to think I was their superhero, which I mentioned to you guys. And truth is, that video, I reached my breaking point, I mentioned it, where I speak on how being codependent was also like a drug I used to chase, because I used to convince myself if I keep saving everyone, even though nobody's saving me, I would feel valued. That's what happens when your needs are not met as a child. I know I was neglected, so I'm very well aware, and I'm no longer living unconsciously. I actually can see what's going on. I'm actually aware. And I've noticed that when you don't have a lot of self-confidence, when you don't have self-respect for yourself, and when you don't have self-love, no matter how much you think you do, you devalue yourself in many other parts of you, whether it's sex, whether it's taking risks, whether it's pouring into yourself and you're taking care of others before you. That's you devaluing yourself. And I know you're probably wondering, well, Drina, it's easy. Just stop having sex. Just stop reaching to pornography, or just stop any other sexual pleasure so you can feel safe. It sounds easier said than done, but here's the problem here. Even though my mind knows what is right, and we're gonna talk about how tricky the mind is. Even though my mind knows what is right, it still reaches for familiarity. It reaches for what feels even better than feeling right, the instant gratification of how can I feel good fast. The thing is, doing work on yourself isn't fast. So the mind doesn't like that, especially if you're so used to getting things fast, getting things your own way, being hyper independent, all of these things. So it's just like when the cookie crumbles, you want to patch it up quick. You want to make sure that you heal those wounds quick, but it takes time. My mind, the funny thing about our minds, that we wake up every single day and we're thinking we have to, like, let's say you work out, you have to train your muscles. But on the contrary, from the moment you wake up, the thing that you're training that's not really a muscle, even though the mind is an organ, you're 100% training you're training your mind as soon as you wake up. And here's the crazy thing about training your mind as soon as you wake up. Whether you think you can or can't, it will happen. And in the moment of hypersexuality, in the moment of feeling like I don't want to go to the gym in the morning, in the moment like I don't feel like I want to eat right today, in the moment when it's like I feel depressed and I don't feel well, it's honestly all in your mind. It's up to you to reframe it. It's up to you to reflect. It's up to you to be kinder to yourself and understand what needs to be nourished. But we reach for the quickest thing that makes us feel whole at the time, even if we know it's not making us feel whole. Sexuality isn't the enemy. You don't need to punish yourself. Right now, it's about regulating and controlling it. Because even though there's external influences that probably try to convince you or confuse you, huge emphasis on confuse. It tries to tell you that you are promiscuous, you will never be married, you will never have value because of the things that you've done or you went through. These people do not know you, nor will they ever know you. What matters is you getting to know you. What matters is you seeing you before others can see you. So as you get to know yourself and you break the habits of being yourself, because that's normality to you and you're comfortable and being uncomfortable, once you break those habits, you start to unravel that braid. Because right now your nervous system is convincing you that your worth, your value, your closeness, your protection, your safety, your identity is wrapped up in one big sex braid. That is not the case. So we're going to teach ourselves how to regulate it and things that I've done to regulate it myself so that when you're in this situation, we can get out of it together. So sex is a choice, not a reflex. Expression, not a requirement. And in addition, not an entry fee. I've been in spaces where I thought this is what I wanted, many occasions with partners that I thought would be my partner for a lifetime. But after I had sex with them because I was hypersexual, after I had sex with these people, that bond, that dopamine was gone. Because in reality, the only bondage that you were creating was an emotional bond, or sometimes even a trauma bond. You ever had those moments, you had a great conversation with the person, you told them about your life, you told them about everything going on, and you felt like, this is my person, they listen, they're perfect, they get me, they go through the same things I go through. No, secretly, you guys are trauma bonding. And you're confusing chemistry with compatibility, and then it becomes a pattern. Because you were raised in a dysfunctional environment, and it's not your fault. Because that environment was so dysfunctional, they did not teach you how to make sure your needs were met first and that you're nourished first before you start giving out who you are and letting someone see who you truly are. And because that's this dysfunctional environment, and we're not here to blame that environment, we're here to rise up from it, rise and heal, and keep moving forward. Because of that dysfunctional environment that you were raised in, your body convinced you that you lost the power that you once had and that you no longer have control. So sometimes when you do have that partner in that dominant moment and you're having sex with this person, it makes you release something where it's like, I finally gained control. And especially when you feel like you knew what this person wanted and you tackled what they wanted immediately, so they can't leave you. They can't tell you firsthand like, hey, I just want to have sex or anything like that, because you already led with it first. You're trying to be the dictator of the situation so that if they were to abandon you or neglect you or leave you when feelings were involved, you already know that post-nut clarity, you don't have feelings anyways. And it works temporarily. And that's what we're gonna break, that habit. We're gonna regulate that habit where we're gonna understand ourselves and understand that the chemistry is not compatibility. And we're going to understand that anytime your body is treating you like you need sex, that you just need to be nourished somewhere else. From now on, you will be met before you're touched, and your presence will be seen before your body. Your soul will be seen before your body. And I'm going to tell you how to change it. Non-negotiables. We're setting non-negotiables. So for now on, challenge the mind. Instead of having sex on the first night, actually challenge yourself to say, you know what? Go to bars, go to restaurants, get to know this person, talk to them, get to know who they are, their red flags are first, and tell yourself you're going to give it 30 days of going on dates, hanging out before you even let them come to your apartment, or vice versa by going to their apartment. And that also means with currency as well. Do not convince yourself that if you are in a relationship with someone, or getting to know someone actually, because in that moment you're getting to know them. If you're getting to know someone, it is very imperative that you don't mix currency with a moment of feeling value. So they have to match your needs, and not your needs currency, but your needs when it comes to who you are and the work you've done for yourself. If they do not match those needs, and when I say needs with currency, I mean, if this guy took you shopping, that does not mean they need to go home with you. They need to figure out your mind first, and you need to be compatible with each other's minds first. Shopping is just a plus. And then let's replace sexual escalation with intimacy. Let's get to know each other truly to the depth. Now, if someone doesn't want to get to know you in the ways that soothes your mind, your soul, they weren't meant to be here in the first place, and let them eliminate themselves and fall off. If they really wanted to be with you, they would do everything they can to be and get to know you. If that case is not showing itself, if someone is bothered because you're on the third date and you still have yet to drop those pants, they're not your partner. It's just you noticing a red flag about them that you need to be aware about to cut them off immediately. Have long conversations with them instead of sexual escalation. Deeper, longer talks. Allow yourself to be seen. If your kissing goes on and it goes on for too long to the point that you are turned on, allow yourself self-control. Find a way to switch the situation. Let's go get more drinks. Or if you feel like drinks would also bring that high to a certain point, maybe it's time to call it a night. Be honest with yourself, but remember that do not break that barrier, because once you bend that boundary, you're showing that person that your boundaries can always be bent. And you're not in the business of selling your love or convincing someone your worth. You have to convince them your worth by showing it how you carry your own self. And when the urge does come, do not shame or do not obey. Instead, reflect and reframe. Think about it. What is my body telling me right now? Some people, when that dopamine hits, they need that high. They need something else to give them a high. Take a cold shower, go weightlifting, go do an activity or a hobby, do something that makes you happy, listen to music. Do not watch things that bring into sexual pleasures. Do not get into self-pleasure as well. Try to convince the mind that you need to be nourished in other parts. Allow the mind to connect with the soul so that it knows that, hey, actually, the problem is right now is that I just need a little bit of attention and reassurance from my partner. I don't really need sex. I just need to be seen right now. Or I'm bored. I'm a little lonely. I haven't spoken to some people in a couple days. I probably need to go out and meet new people today. Just rewire your brain to finding another way to see what is the problem and why are you addicted. Why is your brain convincing you that you have an addiction towards hypersexuality? Ask yourself, what do I need right now? Is it reassurance? Is it validation? Is it finding my self-identity? Is it just music or some food? Is it water? Your body needs to be nourished, and only you can figure it out for yourself. Start questioning yourself when your sexual desire comes up. It's going to reframe your mind and think about something else. Trust me. And lastly, don't be afraid to be in communities that serve you purpose. Always remember, communities that are conducive for you are 100% a way to push you and navigate you towards self-development and self-growth. If you want more growth within your life, if you want to take risks that are personable, risks that take care of you, take care of your mental, you need to make sure that you surround yourself with people who also want the same for themselves. The more you surround yourself with the same people that follow the same high that you do, it will only become easier and easier to continue to support your own mind and your soul when it comes to making decisions that supports your future. And before I end this off, I wanted to let you know, be kinder to yourself. By the end of this video, if you don't already know, you are now aware of your situation. That's the reason why you stopped here today. You're aware, and because you're aware, you took one step further than you were before. You need to be kinder to yourself and you need to tell yourself from now on, my needs will be met before my body. My presence will be seen before I'm touched. And as long as you continue that mindset and you remember to reframe and reflect and nourish yourself in parts and moments when you feel like touch those areas of your body, where do you feel the pain coming from the most? When you feel like these parts need to be nourished and you go and handle it, I promise you, the negativity, the negative hypersexualityness, it will soon become silent. And you know what will become louder? Your voice that was never heard. I want to tell you one more time, I am very grateful. Thank you so much for watching Escape with Drina. I truly appreciate every time I make a video. It takes me hours, especially when I'm doing it alone, but I am happy that I'm not healing alone anymore. Even though I don't have you guys right next to me, I know that I'm not alone. And it makes me very, very happy that I finally am in a place where I feel like I'm supported. I know that my people will find me, but it's up to you guys to help them find me as well. I feel like as I'm healing and as I'm getting my license as a clinical therapist, I've made a decision that I want, since the moment I started this, I wanted to help navigate people into self-guided discoveries and to understand how important it is to heal and reparent yourself. I'm here to tackle on trauma, depression, anxiety, and any of the things that go through your mind, even as big as suicidal thoughts. I've been there in every situation. And like I tell you guys before, even though I can't fit in your shoes, I'm gonna do my damn best to make sure I could squeeze in them, because I have the experience and I have the pain, and we're gonna heal these wounds together, one step at a time. Thank you for watching Escape with Drina. Rise and heal. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.